Hey, you guys, welcome to Regardless. I am so excited to have you here. Regardless is the go-to hub for tips and tools to keep you going, babe, reminding you that you've got this. Hi, my loves. Okay, as you guys know, the past couple of months of 2024 and beginning of 2025 have been absolute chaos. Regardless, I'm actually really proud of myself for taking the time to slow down, to speed up, and to really take steps every single day to invest into my mental wealth. Now, I'm obsessed with this word because I think our mental health and self-care and self-love, all of it, it takes daily love and daily steps, and it's a daily practice. And the 5 key pillars, I think, into investing into mental wealth are diet, sleep, focus, exercise, and stress. My absolute favorite product in the entire world right now that helps with these 5 key pillars is Magic Mind. Not only is the team amazing, but also the focus productivity shot is game changing. Not only does it help me stay focused, I actually have more clarity, but it also doesn't affect with my sleep, which is game changing. You can buy Magic Mind productivity shots for 45% off by using the code RegardlessJan. Thanks, guys. Hello, my love.
Hi.
Let's please welcome Selina Ringel to Regardless. She is an actress, producer, writer with a recent film called You, Me, and Her, now in 200 theaters. Is that correct?
Yep, on Valentine's Day.
Babes, I am so freaking proud of you. Like,
Thank you.
literally, when we first met, we met at Michelle's, which is crazy, her screening.
Yeah.
And then I got to see your film, the preview, and then
Yeah.
meeting you after, like just tying two of those things together, like seeing you on a screen and then the actual existence of your being in real life is crazy. And now you're sitting here with me. So I'm so
Yay.
excited.
Yay, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Okay, can you share a little bit more with those who don't know what You, Me, and Her is about? Just like
Yeah.
as context.
Yeah, so You, Me, and Her is a movie about a couple who's having a hard time in their marriage, and they go on a trip to Mexico after they've had a kid to kind of rekindle the marriage. And the wife, who's played by me, gets hit on by a woman, and she realizes she'd be kind of curious to be with a woman. And the idea of having a threesome kind of rekindles the marriage, but obviously it's not as simple as it sounds.
Okay, and that's all you're going to leave us with.
Yep.
Okay.
You have to watch it in theaters.
Go see it. Okay, so where is it playing?
I mean, it's literally in 200 theaters nationwide. So it's in Los Angeles, it's in New York, it's in Miami, it's in Alaska, it's in Guam, it's in Puerto Rico,
Insane.
it's in Kansas City, it's in, I mean, you guys, well, you should follow at You, Me, and Her movie because we're putting all the locations, all the theaters, and we're doing really fun giveaways. We're giving away trips to Mexico. Yeah.
Okay,
On socials, you should enter.
Okay, I'm 100% entering.
Yeah.
Literally after this episode.
Yes.
I need a vacation.
Yes, I agree. I need a vacation too, but
Yeah, I bet
I
you
can't
do.
enter. So.
Okay, so speaking of like talking about creating something from the ground up, and what's so interesting about you and this movie is that you're not only a star in it, but you wrote the entire thing and you produced it. And off camera, we were just talking about the difference between like crafting an art and creating an art versus actually crafting, creating, and then selling it.
Yeah.
And being a part of like every single process of that sales cycle.
Yeah.
How has that experience been like for you? And how were you able to get yourself from writing this vision to what it's turned into now and it being in 200 theaters? Like, that is insane.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's nice to hear you say it because I feel like we've been so busy that it's like hard to take the moments to hear it and like sit with it and be like, yeah, that's really crazy. That's a really big deal. Yeah. Yeah, it's a big deal. Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, first of all, obviously, I mean, we wrote it. I wrote it. My husband directed it. It's based on a semi-personal story. We can get on to that later.
Okay. Love.
But basically, yeah. Well, one thing that I will say is I wrote this book, Be the Train. which is a big part of kind of how we've made everything in our career happen, which is this mindset that I think you really need in order to be a creative in this industry because it's just so hard. And so the mindset is kind of framed around you can't be waiting for the train to arrive. You have to be the train. So, and what that means is you have to become the momentum that makes other people want to jump on board what you're doing. And I think if you're not that momentum, it's almost impossible to get anything started because it's just, there's too many walls, and you kind of have to be breaking through them yourself before anyone even believes that it's happening. And I think we live in like a society that has like a lot of sheep mentality in the sense that like people don't think something's real until someone else thinks it's real, or someone doesn't want to jump on board until someone else jumped on board. And so it's really hard to get something started in a creative industry. And I think a big part of it is figuring out how to get yourself in this mindset of no matter what, it's happening because I'm making it happen. And so then when people feel energetically like that's true, then they start to want to be a part of it. But that's a separate question then. What I will say is, having made the movie and then now marketing the movie is two completely different jobs.
Wow.
And I mean, I feel like I'm doing like a master's program in marketing right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But it's been fun.
My mom has always said that like, Sky, you don't have to go get your master's degree because of like literally everything that I'm creating with Regardless with this brand. This literally is my MBA. And what you just said is so true. And I do really want to center in on your book because this is incredible. And I think I was just telling you this, but this conversation is so timely for me right now with doing Regardless full time and also scaling this into a much larger platform versus just being a podcast. And now putting myself out there to investors to build this baby and sell it. And it is so true. I love what you just said. It's like, regardless of the momentum that you are or you are not seeing in your life, like it is up to you to go freaking get that, to show up, to be that momentum and like to not wait for that person, that conversation, that opportunity, that like it starts with the steps that you have control over and like that you can take. So whoa. And I also love, I was like stalking your Instagram.
Oh, thanks.
And I want to share this quote.
Love
because
that.
This, please. I think can like set up our conversation because it's freaking powerful. I think I just took a little screenshot.
Was it something I said or was it something someone else said?
Okay. So you reposted it and it was from Mel Robbins' feed.
Oh, okay.
But I think this
just so you know, Mel Robbins read my book and she wrote a quote for the front of my book.
So question.
Yeah.
Is this quote from that specific, is it from?
No, I can tell you what quote she wrote for my book, but tell me which. I love Mel Robbins. Yeah, she's amazing.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
So it says, stop waiting for the right time, waiting to feel ready or a little less afraid, waiting for someone to come along and tell you that today is the day to start. The problem with waiting is no one is coming. The only permission you need is your own.
So because that's something she says, but what she says has a lot to do with who she is. And that's why I love who she is, which is part of why I asked her to read my book, because I feel like it's very aligned with how she operates in this world. And then obviously it was incredible when she actually did read it and wrote a quote for the front of my book. I actually cried.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's
but I mean,
insane.
I very much believe in her mindset. And I think that my book speaks to that mindset a lot as well.
So personally, for like your experience, what allowed you like to tap into this mindset of waiting for the train versus like actually becoming that? Like, what did this experience look like for you from maybe it was before you even began writing the script from this? Like, if you could tell us a little bit more about your specific journey with like understanding the power of this mindset, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first of all, I came to LA to be an actress. That's how I started. I wanted to be an actress. And then I kind of had this like La La Land moment where I was in this audition room and I was waiting around And everyone there I thought looked better than me, had been doing it for longer than me. Their resumes were better. Like and I took like probably 2 hours to get there. And then I waited for an hour, and then I had 2 minutes in the room. And then I felt like those 2 minutes weren't good enough. And I was like, this is too hard. Like, I just don't know if, and so I kind of cut myself out of the equation. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just be a producer because I'll have more control. I'll feel like more empowered. By the way, looking back, I don't think you have more control as a producer, but in the moment, I was like, it's too disempowering for me to just be waiting for someone to choose me. Right. But what was interesting about the journey was that then I went on to produce, and I was just basically helping other people put together like what their dreams were, what their stories were, what they wanted. Nothing wrong with that. It was a great job, and I did well. I'm organized, I'm good with people, but I had a lot of stories to tell, and I had a lot of creativity in me that I kind of hadn't tapped into for a while. And I had like another moment where I realized like, I'm basically not having fun anymore. I'm just kind of like doing the stuff I think I should be doing to be successful, but I'm not like enjoying it anymore.
No.
And so I decided I wanted to be more playful, and I wanted to enjoy myself more. And I joined an acting class, and then I joined a stand-up class, and I joined an improv class. And I was like, this is all for me. Like, I don't need this to go anywhere.
Acted before that?
Yeah, so I had been acting in my younger years, and then up until I moved here and decided that it was too hard. And then so I took like a pause.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And then I grew up in Mexico, so it's a little bit of a different landscape
Where in Mexico?
over there. Guadalajara.
Amazing. And when did you move here?
At 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like recent-ish.
Yeah, well, sure. Sure. Just last year. But anyway, long story short though, I feel like what came to me in that moment, so I started having a lot of fun again because I was playing, because I was enjoying myself, and then all these things started kind of happening that were flowing pretty easily. And I had this like epiphany, like why not me? Like, I actually get to choose me. Because now I know how to make a movie. I know how to raise the money. I know how to write a movie. I know how to cast it. I know who's good for what role. I know, like, I've done so much of the work that why wouldn't I choose me? And so, and I think from that point on, the choosing me like elevated exponentially. So like my capacity for understanding what is possible for me has like expanded. So like when I started choosing me, it was like, I'm going to choose me for like a side supporting role because like I'm just getting started. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But it's like, as I kept choosing me, and then I kept also getting more specific about like what my vision is and what I think is possible, and what I started kind of expanding, like, wait, well, why not me as the lead? Well, wait, why not me as in this partnership? And then wait, why shouldn't I ask for more money? And then wait, why shouldn't I ask for collaborations? And then wait, and then I kind of realized like, I don't really care if people say no. Most people say no, and that's okay. But the more I can be expansive about what I ask for, how I add value to the ask, and that's really important. And that's actually a whole chapter in my book is about cold emails, because there is a real element to art. There is an art to cold emails.
Can you give me like a little nugget? Because I like, my background is in sales.
Yeah.
And so I have like my own experience, but I'm dying to hear like a little bit more.
Yeah. So a couple of nuggets, but I mean, obviously, I'm going to give you a copy of the book.
I'm so excited.
So first of all, always research who you're getting in touch with and why, and be really specific. So it's like, you want to make sure you're you're talking to someone who can actually help you, and that you're talking to the right person. Okay. And then what I always do is first I do like a list of everybody that I want to be in touch with. Then I go through that list and I figure out who do I know in common with every single person in that list, right? So instead of going, hi, Mary, I'm Selena, I'm going, hi, Mary, I'm Selena, and funny story, we both know Sue.
Okay.
And the reason that I do that is because immediately I'm a friend of a friend.
Yep.
Right? And that changes everything.
Yep.
So that's number one. Number two, I always ask a question with a question mark. And the reason I do that is because people don't respond because they're lazy and they don't realize they're being asked a question. So like a lot of times if you go, let me know how you would like to proceed, but you don't actually put a question mark, people are like, yeah, okay, I'll get to that later. So like an actual question mark for a question is really important. So people feel like, oh, I'm kind of rude if I don't answer the question.
That's, I've never like, now saying it out loud, it's like, duh. But
yeah,
that is, now I can like look back at times where I just go, let me know what day works best. But it's like, okay, then I'll get back to them when I have a time. And, you know, our time span now, like we're going to obviously forget that.
Yeah, exactly.
Super powerful.
Well, and then, and I would say some other tidbits too is how do I add value to the other person? So for example, it's like, if I say, hey, I won $1 million for my movie, it's like, well, why is that beneficial to you? Do you know what I'm saying? Like if I can't explain to you why actually you're going to get $2 million, then you're not really interested in giving me $1 million, right? So I think everything needs to be framed in how you can add value to the other person. And then I think a lot of it also has to do with like, how do you elevate yourself to where they're at, right? So I think a lot of people come in with emails going like, I'm freshly out of school and I would just love if one day you and me could grab a coffee. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, those emails don't get answered because everyone's like, oh God, I don't want to go grab coffee. With, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, but if it's more like, you know, hey, Sally, I saw what you made and I loved it. I watched it the other night. It was really moving for this reason. I want you to know that I went to film school specifically because I love your work. It would be really valuable to me if you had 5 minutes to chat on the phone. These are some of the questions that I have. And then it becomes a much more specific email. The ask is much easier. It's 5 minutes on the phone versus having to get in your car, go for coffee. I've actually watched your work. So I'm saying, I value you enough that I've actually put time into figuring out who you are before asking you for something. Do you see what I mean?
100%.
So all of that stuff I think goes a long way.
Wow. Okay. And you learned this through
sending
thousands
of emails. Thousands of emails.
And no's. And being rejected shit ton of times.
Not just no's, just like non-responses. Thousands of non-responses. But also I've sold movies this way. I've gotten massive partnerships this way. Our movie right now has Lindt Chocolates as one of our partners. Glam Squad is one of our partners. Boomo Parenting is one of our partners. I mean, Fandango is one of our partners. Like, so it's like, but it's taken, you know, it's taken a minute to get to this point. But I also sent thousands of emails to get to where we are right now.
Absolutely. And this is all about being the train, right? Instead of waiting for someone to knock at your door, because especially when building an empire like you're building, it does not work that way.
Yeah.
Are there other like areas in your life where maybe you were waiting for the train versus like actually being it and taking radical responsibility? Like how, like, can you just share a little bit more about like how you realized that this was like the way to do it and to be successful?
I think that what I realized was more about my energy. I think that when you're a can-do, passionate person who's always looking at how to problem solve and how to keep pushing forward and how to keep asking for what you need, and add value, I think that's like, yeah, it's interesting because I think a lot of people, and by the way, not everyone loves that I have a lot of energy. It's like it's hit or miss. People love it or hate it, and that's okay.
I'm the same way.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah. I don't need everyone to love me. I don't. I need the people that love me to really love me. That's all I need. Do you know what I mean? And I think that having that kind of energy is actually really special, because when you have a lot of energy, it's contagious and you can get other people really excited to be a part of what you're excited about. And so I think that the mindset is kind of like runs on two things. One is, how do you stay excited? How do you stay energetic? How do you stay positive when so many things
Regardless,
when so many things are not working?
Yes.
And how do you actually, on like a logical level, keep pushing things forward, right? You have to keep moving things forward. And I think that can be really tough, especially in a creative space, because there's so much rejection that it can feel sometimes like, all right, well, I guess I just give up. But I think it's in the not giving up that things show up. And I think it's also in like the opening yourself up to the possibilities of like what can happen for you. You know, like I remember when I sent this email to Lindt Chocolates. I was like, why would Lindt Chocolate answer me? They're like this massive chocolate company.
Of course.
We're like this indie movie. But I was also like, you know what? It's coming out on Valentine's Day. Lindt Chocolate does an amazing job at their Valentine's Day heart-shaped chocolates. They probably have extra product. They are probably a company that would want to be tied to something fun related to date night. And I was like, you know, the worst that can happen is they say no.
Absolutely.
And I think that like getting yourself in that mindset is like, I know so many people that are like, well, I'm not even going to try because it's not going to work. And it's like, well, then nothing's going to work. So
I think it's like more of getting out of like the what if it doesn't work out and more into like the what if. And I think that's so powerful about your mindset, because even looking at your journey, when you were kind of like not really the main character energy yet. And you were more behind the scenes. But then I loved how you challenged yourself. And instead of being like, well, what if it doesn't work out? Why would I think that way? It would never work out. You really tapped into that what if. And into the possibility. And I know this as an entrepreneur and creating, you know, my own art, it can be really challenging, because I feel like when you're creating something alone, it's you and you. It's you versus you. But I think there's something also really freeing about that, because all of the things that are happening outside of our world are outside of our control, right? Like I have no control over whether or not someone wants to invest in me. What I have control over is how I react to it and how I continue to keep on showing up and pushing and moving forward. I do have a question for you.
And I have some stuff on investing too, but yes.
I would love to hear. I need that. I need that. Quick question before we go into the investing world. I've spoken to a couple of people and they're like, well, if it's not working out, then you need to pivot. And maybe that's your passion project versus like how you make money. When do you know when something is working and it's profitable versus like a passion project?
I think you don't know.
Okay.
I think that's actually the biggest problem of all. It's
shit.
I know. I don't think you know. I mean, like, I cannot tell you how many things we have created. And by the way, I want to say, because I want to shout out my husband, Dan Levy-Daggerman, who's actually my partner in all of this. And I think that helps tremendously, because even though we both have things we're both doing, I think there are moments that get really hard, and being able to help each other out to keep pushing forward has been really monumental. But I think that's like literally, that's a really good question, because it's the most crazy making part of this whole thing is like, what is actually worth investing your time in? Because so many things don't work and you don't know. But I think that you have to follow your gut. And I think that your gut, the more you do stuff, I think the stronger your gut instinct gets. Like there was a moment with this movie, Post Strikes.
Oh yeah, the timing.
Yeah, it was terrible. But anyway, so we won 15 awards. But like the strikes happened in the middle of this, so we weren't allowed to promote the movie, and so it basically kind of died in the water. And then we like came out of that, and we had 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, but everyone was like, no one's buying anything right now. And I think actually someone was like, just put it up yourself on Amazon. And I was like, ugh. Then we were like, we're not going to do that. And then we reached out to some people. We had some offers on the table to buy the movie, but they were bad offers. They were not good offers. And my husband and I were actually going to sign one of these bad offers because it was just a really bad time. Like, there were a lot of people with great films, and there just were not really good offers.
So much of your time
and
soul
so
and
much
heart into
energy, time, everything. Anyway, long story short, my husband wakes up in the middle of the night. We were about to sign, and he was like, we can't do it.
Wow.
And I was like, well, what's the alternative? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, but we don't really have something else right now.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, but I think this movie deserves better.
Wow.
And I think we should hold out. And I know that like 10 years ago, I would have actually fought against him because I'm a much more anxious person than he is. Yeah. So 10 years ago, I would have been like, nope, you're wrong. Now we're not, we got to take it.
Take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now I was like, you know what, Selena, really tap into your gut. Like, what feels right to you? And I was like, I think he's right. I think there's a better option available to us, and we just need to hold out. And what is happening now in the way we're putting out this movie, which, by the way, we can talk about in a little bit because it's never been done before. So it's very exciting. But was something that took like another few months before it was even on the table. So that was a very hard, like, talking about what you're saying, like sitting in this, like, not knowing is really the toughest thing. But I think that it is just like, how much do you believe, right? No one else knows either. No one knows anything. Like, I'd say that's my biggest piece of advice. Like, everyone who's coming at you like, this is how you do it. No one knows. No one knows exactly how you do it. It's like, people can have how they did it, but that doesn't mean it's going to be what works for you. So you just have to really trust your gut.
You got to be the train regardless.
Regardless. Yes.
Wow. Okay, so talk to me a little bit about what your investing journey or era looked like, and some like main tips that you have there, I guess, that relate back to being the train. And I think, I mean, if someone's going to invest in you, they want you to be the train so they can hop on your train because you're the one who's moving it forward.
Yeah, so I think one of the chapters, actually I think two of the chapters are about getting investors. Okay. And kind of a lot of what I talk about in those chapters is, I think that people think getting an investment has to do with sales. And I do think there's an element of sales, but I actually think vulnerability is the key to getting an investment, because most creative investments are not certain, right? It's like, I cannot guarantee you that you're going to make your money back because it's subjective. Yep. It's not objective. It's art, right? And so anything that's art could be any price. Yeah. It could be $1 or it could be $10 million. And you decide because you're the audience. So like that's a really tough place to be. At the same time, though, if you can see what the value is for community, for audience, for like, where is the value add from like a human perspective? And then go to why that matters to you and why that's important for other people, and how you're going to be able to elevate that voice or that concern or that message that really matters. Then I feel like you're getting an investor because they care about changing the world, which I think is much easier and probably more true than getting an investor because they're certain that you're going to make millions of dollars with this thing, because you can't be certain because no one is. No, I mean, you can't have a magic ball to see the future. No. And like I said, art is subjective. So some things do really well and some things don't. And that's like, literally, you can make something incredible and not make money off of it, or you can make something awful and make millions of dollars out of it. So that's like out of your control. Wow. I love what you said about vulnerability, because I think at the end of the day, it's like someone's investing into you, into that human to human interaction, into that impact, into your legacy. Yeah. So that's very, very helpful. I am curious, Selena, because I know like Be the Train,
and when we say regardless and all of these mindset shifts, it's so much easier said than done.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, just from your experience, when you are in that cloud, like when you are home alone in bed and you're like, fuck, I have to wait another 5 months. Fuck, I'm not seeing the results that I'm wanting to see right now. This is taking me 4 years or X amount of time. How do you tap into that mindset regardless of being in the freaking hole when you can't see outside of the hole?
I think honestly, what I've learned to do with the years, and it's not easy, is to just give myself permission to not be in the good headspace. I think like for so many years, I wanted to be able to just be like tapping out of this headspace. But the reality is, by allowing it to be, it's like, it's almost like I let it leave my body.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, and me and my husband make jokes all the time of like, who gets to be depressed, you know, because we can't both get to, we like one of us has to be functioning, you know, but like when things are hard, he's my business partner. So they're hard for both of us. And so we kind of have to take turns. And I think that like, there's literally been days where I'm like, okay, for the next 2 days, I'm going to like, wear pajamas. I'm not going to see anyone. I'm not going to put makeup on. I'm not going to leave the house. I'm not going to talk to anyone because I don't feel positive right now. I don't see like how this is all going to work out. And I don't want to hear everyone's opinion about what's going to work and what's not going to work.
It's not freaking helpful.
And and I just like, I need like a second to just feel bad about how it's not working. And how much effort I'm putting into this thing that's not working. And I just need to feel sorry for myself and like eat some ice cream and be okay with not being okay. And then I will get out of this funk. But I need to be in the funk. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, no, it's tough. It is tough. I think that's the toughest part. And even by the way, right now, like this has been the most exciting moment of my life, like 100%. Thank you. I could cry just thinking about it. Thank you. No, it is. It's been like, I can't even believe the stuff I'm doing every day. It's like what I've been dreaming of doing my whole life. And I also know that in a month from now, if the movie's still in theaters, you know, like because our movie's going to be playing for a week minimum. And then we'll get extensions if people show up. So that's like a little out of our control. But so let's say, best case scenario, our movie plays for a month, which would be incredible. Okay. So let's say beginning of April. Okay. It's like it's all over. I know. And then I have to figure out, what am I doing next? What's my next project? Now what happens? Like, what? Like, and that's not in a lot. Like, I've invested so much into this, and I'm like, I'm in it. I'm so in it right now.
It's like the next peak. It's like once you hit the peak, there's always the next freaking peak. And my challenge is to you, how can I stay present? And celebrate this, because I feel like we're very similar, where it's like next. And I really hope, like even sitting here with you right now, I just started getting a little bit emotional.
Thank you.
Because I could feel how much fucking work that you've poured into this. And I get it. Like I can almost like feel my future self, because like I just know like how much work it takes to like make that happen. And it's so freaking inspiring for me to sit here, because like I hope to like be you one day. No, like literally.
Thank you.
Freaking amazing. And you don't have to know what your next steps are, because when your movie is in the theater, it's going to be exposed to thousands and thousands of people. And it's like, let your magic rub off on some people, and like let people honestly like come to you. Like you've done the work. And I think at the end of the day, sometimes the best thing that we can do is sit back in our work and let the magic come in.
Like, I love
even
that.
If it's for a couple of months, being like, I just did that. Thank you. Main character energy.
Yes, I love that. And also, you know, obviously, I haven't been around, like, I think my kids also miss me a lot. And I mean, I'm home, but I'm not present the way I usually am, because this is like the most work I've ever had. And so, I think that sounds like really nice. Like maybe the next chapter is like letting things come in, being present with my kids, letting it be okay that I don't know what's next. There's so much there that I'm still working on myself to like be okay in the unknown, because like in this environment I thrive. I'm having a panic attack every day, but I'm thriving. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like go, gotta answer, gotta do this, but it's like when you take it all away, and then you're just like you're in the still, in stillness, the calm, in that's where like my whole body's like, who am I? Like,
that means that you need it.
Yeah. But I also want to learn to find the balance between both, because I think it's so important.
I agree. It's the yin and yang.
Yeah.
I am curious, I guess, with like being the train, there is a lot of unknown in that, right? Like even in the fight or flight, even in the fire of creating what you're creating right now, there is so much unknown. You don't know how people are going to receive the movie.
No.
You don't know how long it's going to be in the theaters for.
No.
So how do you continue to be the train and continue showing up every single day, regardless of not knowing whether or not it's going to work out? Like,
yeah. Well, I think, first of all, one thing I keep telling myself is that no matter what, it's already worked out. Right? So, we're like, this thing we're doing is the biggest thing we've ever done. That's already happening.
It's cool.
Like, so that's incredible. Like you said, thousands of people are going to see this movie. Yeah. That's already happening.
Yeah.
If people don't like the movie and they want to talk about that, that's a conversation we started. I'm okay with that.
Cool.
If like the version of people having a strong negative reaction, but having a reaction means that we still made art that created a reaction. And by the way, our movie is like not PG-13. It's an R-rated movie. It's not for conservatives.
Yeah.
So I would say not everyone's going to love it, but I think a lot of people are going to love it. And I think that some people are going to be surprised by themselves that they love it. And I think that what we're doing is we're opening a conversation. And that's the key.
Yeah.
And I love the conversation that we're opening because it's a conversation that's personal and true to me. So I'm willing to have that conversation. And yeah, I think that it's like I have to let go of all the pieces that are out of my control, but what I have to focus on is the things that I can actually do day to day, which right now is a lot.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
getting through the checklist is its own thing. Yeah, right now. We're doing a regional press tour. I'm leaving on Saturday. We are hitting Boston. We have a premiere at every single city. We have press every day, and then we have a screening every night. Boston, New York City, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles.
Girl.
Kansas City, Austin, Palm Springs, Miami.
Okay, are your children going with you?
No.
Okay, that's love the
Yeah.
kids, but like that's good. So you guys can just like lock in.
Well, it's like impossible.
Like, how would you do that?
I wouldn't be able to do any of the things I need to do. I mean, I have a 4-year-old son and a 1-year-old daughter. So it's like, again, but it's all like, even that piece, which people don't even think about, it's like organizing my mother-in-law and my father-in-law to come in, and then pickups and drop-offs in school and preschools and play dates. And also I did like a treasure hunt for him so that he has like a little toy every day that I'm gone, because I feel like really bad. I'm not going to be around. So I'm like, what do I do?
It's like your face and little like.
I'm like separate from everything I'm doing. I'm also like my son's like personal assistant with his schedule and like trying, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a lot, but it's incredible. It's incredible. And it's also not every day, you know, this isn't like every day.
This is literally your dream.
Yeah.
Coming into fruition. And it is super cool for me also to sit here, because I think especially as women who do want a family, who do want to have kids, like you can be a freaking mom with a 2-year-old or 2 and 1-year-old or 1 and 4.
1 and 4.
1 and 4-year-old and literally be on the big screen and creating all of your dreams and making it happen. Like you can have both.
Yeah. But you have to be very organized.
Yeah.
Very organized.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's another conversation.
Good in-laws.
Yeah.
Good in-laws.
Good.
Telling you now. That's a big one. Big
Yeah.
advice. Life advice. You don't like the in-laws, run away. No, I'm joking.
Retweet. That's all I have to say. No, I love that. I love that. I love that. And I guess for the girls and the women out there listening to this, if you could leave them with, I don't know, one takeaway, I guess that if you could go back to your 20-something self, what is one piece of advice that you wish that younger version of yourself would have known about going after her dreams, being okay with the unknown, stepping into the fire, like anything in that realm? What would that be?
Yeah, I would say, first of all, don't be afraid to choose yourself. Fail often. Be okay with failing. I think that there's so much fear around failing. There is no success without it. Failing is just trying. That's all it is. And you cannot get it right away. That's not possible. If you get it right once, the first time, you got lucky. Keep doing it. Like, you have to, getting good at something is a muscle. It's a literal muscle. Just like understanding how to listen to your gut is a muscle. Just like writing a good cold email is a muscle. Just like all of these things are a muscle. And I think that part of what happens today is that people get really scared when they fail and they stop and they move in a different direction because they feel like they didn't do it good enough. But I truly believe that the good version, the one that really knows what she's doing, and you never fully know what you're doing, but the one that feels more confident in what she's doing is the one that's done it 1,000 times and failed a bunch of different ways and found what worked and what didn't work and why. And like, I think that, truly like embrace it, embrace that failure, love that failure, enjoy it, learn from it. And choose yourself every time. I think I have so many conversations with people where they're like, oh, well, I'm financing this short film, but we need to get this bigger actor because blah, 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 but I wish it could be me, blah, blah, blah. It's like, that bigger actor, he can literally drop out day of. Yep. Like, that's happened to us. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, wow. There's nothing in life is secure.
Nothing's guaranteed.
Nope. So like, if you trust yourself, then bet on yourself. Yep. No one's going to bet on you like you're going to bet on yourself.
Oh my God. I have like literally chills. It's so interesting. I was in a spin class like 2 days ago.
Love spinning.
And the best. Love that. And it's so funny because I have so many moments like this where it's like, consciously, I know all of this, but I think sometimes you have to go through really specific experiences to get that reminder and like to feel that reminder. And I was in class and I was like just really tired, and I saw everyone around me just like starting to spin a little bit faster, and I'm pretty competitive, so I was like, okay guys, Sky, like let's freaking go a little bit faster than they are. And I was tired, but regardless, I just started going a little bit faster, and I'm like, oh my God, like, well, here I am. I'm now going faster than everybody else. And then I go like, this is so interesting. Like, no one else around me like matters. It's literally me against me.
Yeah.
And everything in life, everything that's happening around me, the layoff, the heartbreak, the wildfires, me getting hacked, my Instagram getting hacked the other day, like all of it.
Yeah.
That's out of my control.
Yeah.
But I'm going to bet on myself and show up, ask for what I want, fight for what I want, regardless of how many no's I get, regardless of how many rejections, because I believe in this.
Yeah.
And it's us against us.
Yeah. And I had a friend of mine that told me a story that I like think is relevant to what you're saying. Yeah. And I thought it was really great. She was running this marathon, and she was running and she was looking at everybody who was ahead of her, and she was feeling so behind. And she took a moment to stop because she like literally needed to take a breath, and she'd been running for a long time. And so she stopped to take a breath, and then she looked back and she realized that she was in the middle of the race. But like the entire time she thought she was at the back of the race because she hadn't actually taken a moment to look back, right? And so I think like there's something about like how much negative self-talk we do and how much we kind of like tell ourselves we're not good enough. But it's like you said, it's you against you. You're not really actually competing with anyone. And no one else is ever going to tell the story the way you're going to tell it. And there is no other version of you. There's only you. So it's like, how much can you support you? How much can you give you? How much can you allow you to be the person that, you want to be?
Selena, oh my fucking God, I needed this. Okay, to end this off, I'm going to give you a little affirmation.
Okay.
And it's a regardless one. So,
okay, perfect.
Regardless of blank, I am blank.
Oof. Okay. Regardless of how this all turns out with my movie, I am so fucking proud of myself.
Fuck yeah. I'm proud of you, girlfriend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry.
I'm freaking proud of you. And I'm so excited to be in the theaters with you on February 13th.
Yay!
And to experience your existence on screen and to also be like, yo, I had that woman in my freaking studio. And I got to be with her and I got to see her and I got to connect with her and like kind of knowing a little bit more about your journey of like, oh my God, like you made that happen regardless of all of the freaking hurdles you had to go through.
Thank you.
But like, again, success is only a thing from failing, right? Like that's a direct result of failing.
Yeah, it is.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Question, where can people go see your movie? How can they get tickets? Like any additional information would be awesome.
Yeah. So I will say, there we go. Hi. So first of all, you can follow me at Selina Ringel, SelinaRingel. Also follow at You, Me, and Her movie. And we are actually giving away trips to Mexico. So, and it's super easy to enter. All you have to do is follow the account, follow the post, and tag 2 people you would go watch the movie with in theaters. That's it. And you're automatically entered. And there's 3 trips that are going to be given away. So that's pretty cool.
Freaking
also,
amazing.
Yeah. I go. Yeah, pretty cool. And then, on our Instagram, we're going to have all the information on where we're showing so you can find a theater near you. We're going to have all sorts of fun promotions. We have Fandango, get 2 tickets, and your third is free.
Love it.
Little fun with threesome there.
Oh, cute.
And then we also have a childcare initiative that we're doing. And we're running a lot of really fun promotions. So if you follow at Yumi and Her movie on Instagram, you'll be able to see all of it.
So proud of you. And also your book.
Yeah.
Be the Train. Incredible.
It's out now. So Be the Train is out now on Amazon. It's actually $1.99 for the next 2 weeks, and then it goes up to $20. So you should buy it right now. And our movie is out in theaters nationwide on Valentine's Day. So take yourself out for a date night.
I know I will. Now I'm seeing it. This book will ignite the fire within you, Mel Robbins. Girl, that is freaking awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
New episodes drop every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.